Blue Slug Nation. Today we have a special guest joining us once again. We know you're familiar with them. We'll bring them on now. Ty Majeski. Ty, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today, buddy?
Doing well. Appreciate you guys having me on as always.
Hey, Ty, where are you at in the world today there, man? Where are you at?
Just here in Wisconsin. One of my last weekends off before we get going here before the season starts. So I want to take advantage of it while I can.
Well, it's hard to believe that it's 2022 already. Let's talk about your racing plans here. I think you got some pretty big news.
Yeah, we got all kinds of really good things going on. So I'll be full-time with Thorsport Racing in one of their four full-time trucks. I'll be in the 66 truck full-time in 2022. So it's been a long time coming, but really excited for the opportunity. A lot of great people at Thorsport, and really excited for this season.
You worked there as an engineer last year, got to run a handful of races there. How did this deal come together to make you full-time? And then also, how does this change your role as an engineer? Will you be doing any of that this year?
Yeah, so I'll be doing a little bit of the engineering side as well. Obviously, I'll have other commitments I have to do from a driver standpoint, like simulator, and of course a couple late model races sprinkled out throughout the year as well. So I'm going to work there some for sure. I think it always helps when the driver is there, just being with the race team and knowing what's going on and being able to tell from that standpoint. I think I can bring something to the table that maybe some drivers can't. So I'm excited to be a part of it, excited to have a really good relationship with my crew chief and as well as my entire team.
Who is your crew chief there, buddy?
It'll be Joe Shear Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so a little Wisconsin connection there. Longtime crew chief for Johnny Sauter, someone you're familiar with. How do you feel about teaming up with Joe Shear Jr.?
Well, him and I have really created a really good relationship over the course of the last year or so. I always kind of worked. I don't know if there's a certain reason, but I always kind of worked more closely with the 13 team, with Johnny and Joe. Joe and I we have a lot in common from the late model side. He's involved in Johnny's late model program. So we kind of came from sort of the same background, even though it was years apart. So we kind of connected from that front. And like I said, really created a really good relationship throughout the last year. And it made sense for him and I to kind of pair up and try and go have some success together.
What do you think some of the challenges will be early on for you being a driver full-time and getting back to Daytona?
Well, I think, a lot of the guys have a lot of experience on me. I've been dabbling in this NASCAR thing for, since 2017, but I really don't have that many races under my belt. So a lot of these places are new to me, especially the road courses. All 3 road courses will be new, the 2 dirt tracks. So there's, almost, 20% of your race is right there and tracks that I'm not familiar with and really disciplines of racing that I'm not familiar with. So, the three road courses are Mid-Ohio, Sonoma, and COTA. So all the drivers at least have been to COTA. Mid-Ohio and Sonoma will be new for most. The Truck Series hasn't gone to those 2 places. I don't know if they've ever gone to Mid-Ohio, and it's been a long time since they were at Sonoma last. So those 2 will be new for everybody, but COTA, only having a 20-minute warm-up practice will be I'll have to learn quick for sure.
Hey, Knoxville's on the schedule too on a dirt race. Would you race on dirt? And have you ever been on dirt?
I've raced go-karts on dirt, but I've never really raced a stock car on dirt. So I was actually trying to put together a program with a local IMCA stock car team to try and get at least some seat time on dirt. And modified or a late model really won't do me any good. They race so much different, with the rear suspension and the way everything works. The best thing that's most comparable to a truck is really just a street stock. So I've been working on trying to get into some races, or at least a few test sessions before we tackle Bristol in April.
Will you bounce ideas and thoughts off a guy like Matt Crafton, who presumably will be your teammate at Thorsport this year? I don't know if anything's been announced yet, but he's a guy who didn't really do a whole lot of dirt, hopped in, and now he's one of the best at it.
Yeah, Matt's really good. Honestly, we have a lot of really good dirt racers at Thorsport. So Ben, I think finished second last year at Bristol, and of course Crafton has won at Eldora, and he's one of the better ones on dirt. So yeah, certainly I'm gonna lean on all the guys that I know and use all my tools I can to be successful. Honestly, the guy I'll probably lean on the most is Chase Briscoe. He's had such success, not only on dirt but with the truck series with ThorSport. So they have a really good package there. I think we'll have good trucks. It's just a matter of myself getting acclimated to something new.
What are some of the tracks you're looking forward to going the most here?
Any of the short tracks, honestly. Martinsville's always been a dream of mine to race at, and just the way the schedule is played out and the way circumstances played out, I haven't gotten a chance to race there yet in my career. So I'm really excited for Martinsville. That one will be, I think, the 5th race on the schedule. And then once we get into the playoffs, if I'm fortunate enough to make the playoffs, I think the schedule really lays out well. You have IRP and Richmond, the first 2 races in the playoffs. So those are 2 tracks that I've been to that I think my team specifically on the 66 with Joe will be really strong at.
Hey, you got SimCraft as a sponsor. Tell the fans what they're all about.
Yeah, SimCraft was a supporter of ours last year. They were able to, we have one of the awesome sim rigs in the shop. It's a full motion, full everything. I mean, they utilize such good suppliers for their steering wheels and pedals, and we use the simulator a ton to get acclimated to racetracks before we go, especially road courses. Utilizing obviously iRacing.com as the platform, and then SimCraft simulator rig as the rig to go in and hone our skills before we go to a racetrack. So it's been a really good tool for us drivers to have directly in the shop. The Toyota simulator is down in Charlotte, and obviously it's not convenient to get to. So having that at the shop when the drivers come into town, we utilize it all the time to try and get better.
What are some of your skill sets that you've tried to hone in for the upcoming year, knowing that you'll be full time? What have you changed in your regimen to prepare for that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just creating relationships with your team. Just like anything else, if you create a relationship with somebody, they're going to work harder for you. And it's not only that way with racing; it's that way with anything. So just creating a relationship outside of racing with my guys. Not only the crew chief, but all the mechanics and all the people hanging the bodies downstairs. To me, that's the biggest thing that you can help internally on a race team is build relationships with those people, because they're building your trucks, and they're going to be the reason why, or a big reason why you're successful. So to me, that's one of the biggest things that I've tried to do over the course of the last really since I've gotten there.
Speaking of the body, all the new trucks are having new bodies this year. The Toyota one looks really slick. How does that look down in the shop?
I was a little skeptical of it when they first announced it. Toyota put out that video of that white truck, and I'm like, I don't know. But once we got it in the shop, got some noses and tails on the trucks, and got the stickers on them, man, it looks really, really good. So I'm really excited to go out there and drive that truck. Like I said, it looks really good. The Tundra TRD Pro should be fast all year. A lot of fast teams will be running those trucks, and I'm excited to be one of them.
There's rumors have been flying, about what's going on with you, and a lot of people are saying, well, it looks like we're not going to see Ty Majeski around the stage here this summer. Tell us that's not so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many late model races would do, but I'll definitely be at some of the bigger ones like, Madison, the Joe Shear race, the Dells, this Jim Sauter Memorial. I'm sure, Dixieland, Slinger, all the big ones. So really excited for those races. And, you can't get rid of me that easy in Wisconsin. So I'm excited to be racing my super late model program. That's obviously where I cut my teeth in racing, and have a lot of great supporters on that front, and a lot of great friends of mine that we like to go and play a little bit when we have time.
How does having success and honing in your skill sets at the short track level help you at the next level, and then maybe vice versa as well, having the NASCAR experience help you down at the short track level?
Well, it just keeps you sharp. Anytime you can stay in the seat, Duke Thorson, the team owner, has been a huge supporter of my late model races. If it were up to him, I'd be running a late model race every weekend. So he's doing it, and he'll do anything in his power to help me do it. So that's pretty cool. It makes my life easy, and he's cool if I leave the shop and go late model racing. So, but I think, like I said before, anytime you can stay in the seat is helpful. Helps you stay sharp. If you have a few weeks off, the way the truck schedule lays out, it's a really, really busy April, May, June. But once we get into July and August, we have multiple weeks off. So, anytime you can stay in the seat and stay sharp, it's going to help you when you sit in that truck and it's got to count. Obviously, we don't have a lot of practice. Whether you're going to have a 50-minute practice session or a 20-minute practice session in qualifying each of these races. So it's you're going to have to be on your game for sure.
So tell us about how far the trucks are along, how many you have built, and how that process come together. And then also, what have you touched on the vehicles?
So what's the biggest part of this off season for every single team has been changing all the noses and tails out on each of the trucks. So basically we're waiting on the manufacturers to get us the noses and tails, and as fast as they're getting them to us, we're putting them on. So but as of right now, our both of our Daytona trucks are pretty much ready to roll, working on our Vegas primary at this point. So we're looking pretty good from a timeline standpoint. We definitely could be farther ahead, but it could be a lot worse too. So I think we'll have plenty of time to fluff and make the trucks the way we want them. I know Joe loves Daytona and the super speedways. It's a really good opportunity for the teams to show their speed. It's one thing to win the race at Daytona, but there seems to be some bragging rights that goes into sitting on the pole at a race like that, because it comes down to how fast you can build the truck and how well you can do it. So Joe, that's something that he takes pride in, and hopefully we can go there and have a good showing.
So what's your goals this year, dude? Are you aiming pretty high, or what's your realistic goal for 22?
I think I'd really like to win a race. Maybe that's unrealistic, maybe it isn't, but I think for the team I'm with and what I feel like we were capable of even last year with a fifth team at ThorSport, I really feel like that we can go out and put really fast competitive race trucks out on the racetrack. And my goal would be to consistently run up front, get yourself in the playoffs, and once we get into the playoffs, I feel like the schedule really plays into our hands.
Last time we saw you at Daytona, it didn't end well. You were running well and unfortunately got caught in that right rear. In a few weeks, you're going to be going back there. Tell us about going back to Daytona.
Well, Daytona is obviously you start off with the Super Bowl of racing, the first race of the year. So I'm excited for it. Obviously, the last race didn't end how we wanted it to, but we had a really fast truck, and I gained some experience that I think will help me there when I go back. So just got to come up with a good game plan as a team, chase some stage points, and hopefully stay out of the big one.
What else are you looking forward to? You mentioned going out to Las Vegas, 1.5 miles. Those are very tricky, very aero dependent. It seems like in today's racing world, everything's kind of aero. You see it even at the short track level. You're one of the first ones that have mentioned that. Tell us about going to the 1.5 miles and what that aero means and how much you're looking forward to going to some of those.
Yeah, I think Vegas will be, Vegas has historically been a really strong track for ThorSport. Of course, last fall we were the first team to ever finish 1, 2, 3, 4 in a race. So excited to go back. We got basically the same fleet of trucks that each team had out there in the fall. We'll be bringing back here in the spring. So excited for that. I feel like we got a really good package. ThorSport has built a bunch of new trucks at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year, and they really showed really good speed on a lot of the intermediate tracks. So excited to get to those. I've got a lot of experience on mountain apps. I feel good about them. Won some ARCA races at Pocono, Charlotte, Chicago. So I feel like we work on a good package as a team, and I feel like we can go be competitive at any type of racetrack.
When you were at Nice, when you started your career, there was no practice at all. At least you're getting that this year. That's got to give you a little bit of confidence to get some practice in, huh?
Yeah, certainly. That's going to be a huge asset. I think, Joe is really, really good at track adjustments, and I think that'll be a strong suit for us. I feel like I've got a decent idea of what I need to feel in these trucks to be good in the race, and That's something that I just didn't have at Nice. I was unexperienced and didn't have any practice to tune on the truck, so we never really could get into rhythm. And that's something that we should be able to get into this year. And like I said, it'll all come down to communication with my crew chief and making sure that we're on the same page and consistently putting good packages and good trucks together for these races.
Mark brought up a good point with not having practice your rookie year. I can't imagine, and I think the trucks are one of the hardest vehicles to drive, especially at the top level, not having practice there. How does that change your preparation with having practice and maybe the conversations you have with Joe?
Well, we're actually not going to get to change a ton during the practice sessions. It's basically just going to be setting the travels. We'll have a few balance adjustments that we'll be able to do, but it's going to be nothing big. So really, it's going to be business as usual. We're gonna sim the same way, run the simulator a ton, utilize every exterior tool that we have to show up to the racetrack as close as we can, because we're just, the reality is we're not going to be able to change much after that 20-minute session before qualifying. So we're almost treating it as if we don't have practice. We just have the luxury of going and running some laps, making sure the splitter travels are correct. But other than that, you're going to have to be right there when you unload.
How many laps do you have on iRacing this off season?
A decent amount. I don't do it as much as I used to. Obviously, I'm working at the shop all the time and spend a lot of time, off the racetrack, either here in Wisconsin or with Duke in Ohio. So I do it a lot, but not as much as I used to. I certainly get on there every once in a while and hang out with my buddies and go mess around for sure. It's a lot of fun. I've been actually testing a lot at COTA. It's a track I've never gone to. It's the 4th race on the schedule, and we don't have a lot of practice. So it's going to be crucial that I obviously know the track and have a good idea of what to expect going into that one.
So yeah, I haven't been on iRacing for a while. Are you still ranked up there, number 1, number 2?
Yeah, it's up there. I don't honestly. I think I might be number 2 now. Somebody might have passed me.
That's amazing.
I haven't done a race in a while, an official race that is. I do some leagues here and there, but yeah, I might need to get back to it and reclaim that throne.
Speaking of COTA, just real quickly here, last year when they went to COTA, it was like hurricane conditions there. Talk about the prospects of racing in the rain and if you have any experience with that.
I don't have any. Well, I have very small experience racing in the rain. In 2018, Ford had us on a program. We actually tested a bunch of Trans Am cars, and we were at Watkins Glen, and it was raining. And me, Cole Custer, and Briscoe were racing each other in the rain. But it wasn't actually a serious race. There's only 3 cars out on the racetrack, so that's really the only experience I have in the rain. So I hope it doesn't rain. Let's put it that way.
Well, Ty, congratulations on the deal. We hope to talk to you throughout the season here. It's well-deserved. Thanks for reaching out to us, and congratulations once again.
I appreciate it, guys. I'm excited for it. Thanks for all you guys' support and what you do with this podcast. It's cool on a short track level for all of us drivers. So thank you.
Yep. Hey, we'll be seeing you probably April 10th over there at the Icebreaker, possibly, huh? We'll rub up with you there.
That's the plan. I hope so.
All right. Good deal.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Good luck, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.